my name is Kaitlyn. Welcome to Yoga with Kaitlyn Yoga. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. This is going to be a half-hour, 40-minute sequence just to open up your body, create a little bit of heat and movement, strengthening, lengthening, opening, all that good stuff. You're going to find a comfortable seat. You can sit cross-legged. You might find hero's pose where you sit on your heels with your knees together. Just somewhere you can stay for the next little while. Wherever you are, you'll root through your sit bones, and then imagine this beautiful thread that's coming from your sit bones, working all the way up through your spine and reaching out through the crown of your head. And someone's tugging on this beautiful thread to get you a little bit taller. And now you'll take your hands to your thighs. If you're feeling really crazy, like, I need to calm down, take your palms down. If you're feeling, I wish I had another cup of coffee, I could use a little bit of energy, palms will reach towards the sky. Draw your shoulder blades together and then allow your eyes to come to a close. And begin to breathe. Big, long, fluid inhales. And same with your exhales. Allow yourself a moment to arrive on your mat and to arrive in your body. And take this time to set an intention for your practice today. Once you have your intention in mind, tuck your chin towards your chest. Gently blink your eyes open and roll over your shins. Find all fours. Spread your fingers so wide that you feel a stretch through the webbing of your fingers. And then look down, make sure that your index fingers are parallel to one another. And you have a full palm press, so your index and thumb knuckle mount aren't popping up. Glue them down. And then with your shoulders above your wrists and your hips above your knees, inhale, drop your belly, send your tail, your heart, and your gaze to the sky. On your exhale, press the ground away, spread your shoulder blades apart and look to your belly. Inhale, drop your belly, send your tail, heart, and gaze to the sky. Exhale, press the ground away, spread your shoulder blades apart. And then again, on your own time and on your own breath, inhaling to drop your belly. And exhaling to spread your shoulder blades apart. On your next inhale, come to a flat back position. Really deliberately plant your hands, one hand print in front of where they are. Now tuck your toes if they are not already, and lift your hips back and up, downward facing dog. Once you arrive here, do anything that feels good to wake your body up. So pedaling out the feet is always an option. You might take your hips from side to side. If it feels nice to press into downward facing dog and then land in stillness and just feel, then go for it. This is your practice. When you're ready, you'll find stillness. Lift up onto your tippy toes, bend your knees generously. Send your sits bones back and up towards the wall behind you and press your heart towards your thighs. You're in downward facing dog, but you've created so much length and strength in your spine. Keep sending your sits bones to the wall behind you. Keep everything in your body the exact same, but allow your heels to grow heavy and your legs will work towards straight. If they don't make it, that's totally okay. Imagining there's a hurdle in the middle of your mat. Inhale, ripple up and over your hurdle to find plank pose. Exhale, lift your hips back and up, downward facing dog. Inhale, ripple up and over, find a plank. Exhale, from the hips, lift back and up. Last time, inhale, ripple up and over. You're in plank pose, and you're going to hold here for a second. So if this is a bit much off the bat, tap your knees down onto the mat. That's always an option for you. I'm going to keep my knees lifted, but wherever you are, you're pressing your hands into the mat to spread your shoulder blades apart like you were doing in your cat pose. And then lift your hips a little bit higher. They're on the same line as your shoulders. Spin the inseams of your pant legs up towards the sky, and as you hug your lower belly in, tuck your tail towards your heels, press out through your heels, And get really strong from the crown of your head all the way through your heels for 3, for 2, and 1. Inhale, come forward, shoulders past your wrists. Exhale, lower your knees down and then come all the way down onto your belly. When you get here, untuck your toes, click all 10 toenails into the mat. Your kneecaps will lift, your legs are so strong. And then tense your hands off the mat at shoulder height, elbows to the sky. Inhale, draw your heart forward and then up. It's like a baby dragon cobra. Exhale, roll back down. Inhale, draw your heart forward and then up. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale, draw your heart forward and then up. Tops of your feet glued to the mat. Exhale, fold back down. Plant your hands underneath your lowest ribs. Tuck your toes. Lift yourself to all fours and then press up, downward facing dog. And take a few moments here to feel your body. Notice how you're feeling after a little bit of practice, after creating a little bit of heat. And come back to the intention that you set for yourself at the beginning of your practice. Inhale, lift up onto your tippy toes. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, and on empty, you'll come to the front of your mat, walking, stepping, hopping. Inhale, halfway lift, your hands come to your shins, maybe even your thighs. Draw your heart forward. Exhale to fold back down. Press all 4 corners of your feet into the mat. Tuck your tail, tuck your chin, and slowly, slowly roll up, 1 vertebrae at a time. When you get to the top, roll your shoulders back, reach up, look up. Exhale your hands through prayer at heart center and down to your side. All right, we're going to create a little bit more heat. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, dive forward over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Draw your heart forward, send your sits bones to the wall behind you. Exhale to fold back down. Plant your hands. Big step back with your right foot. Keep your fingertips on the mat. You're bending generously into your left knee and pulling your left hip crease back and down towards your right heel to square through your hips. Spin the inseam of your right pant leg up towards the sky and then press out through your right heel as you reach up through the crown of your head. So there's so much length in your body. Draw your heart through the gates of your arms on your inhale. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank pose. Take an inhale and plank. Exhale, halfway down for chaturanga. You can come onto your knees here. Inhale into your back bend, either cobra or upward facing dog. If you take upward facing dog, the only things on your mat are the tops of your feet and your hands. Exhale, lift your hips back and up. Downward facing dog, and breathe. Inhale your right leg up towards the sky. You can open your hips here as much as feels good. Exhale, take your right knee to your nose and then try your best to land heel first as you take your right foot to your thumb. Same thing, fingertips stay glued onto the mat. As you bend generously into your right knee, you pull your right hip crease back and down towards your left heel. Draw your heart through the gates of your arms and press out through your left heel more. Exhale, step forward fold at the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, rolling back down. This time, press all 4 corners of your feet into the mat, hug your lower belly in, and rise all the way to stand. Exhale your hands through prayer at heart center, down to your side. We're going to do the exact same thing, 1 breath per movement, but we'll step back with the left foot first. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive forward over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, big step back with your left foot. Inhale, draw your heart through the gates of your arms. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank, move through plank into chaturanga on your exhale. Inhale into your back bend. And exhale, lift your hips back and up, downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths. Inhale your left leg up towards the sky, opening your hips as much as feels good, but keep your right armpit lifted. Exhale your knee to your nose and then land heel first as your left foot comes to your left thumb. Inhale, draw your heart through the gates of your arms. Exhale, step forward and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale, rise all the way to stand. Exhale your hands through heart center and down to your side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive forward over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank and move through chaturanga. Inhale into your back bend. Exhale, lift your hips back and up. Downward facing dog. Beautiful. Inhale your right leg up towards the sky. Exhale your right foot to your right thumb. This time take your left knee down onto the mat. You're going to root through both feet and inhale, rise up. Anjaneyasana or low lunge. Scissor your inner thighs together and you'll be drawn out of your lunge just a touch. And then pull your right hip crease back and down in space. With it, find a slight tuck of your tail. And notice how this opens up the front of your left hip a lot. Keep everything in your hips the exact same, but if it feels nice from here, you can sink into it a little bit more. Notice if, like me, your lower ribs have jutted out, can you draw them back? And as you reach through your fingertips, allow your shoulders to collect on your back. Exhale your hands to frame your front foot. Tuck your left toes underneath you if you haven't already, and then send your sit bones towards your left heel as you straighten your right leg and press through your right heel, peeling your right toes towards your face. Today, do your best to stay lifted with your left hip directly on top of your left knee. Pull your right hip crease back and imagine as though your heart is so in love with your toes. So send your heart towards your toes rather than rounding. So you have a lot of length in your spine. Inhale, come forward, rebend at your right knee. You're going to plant your left hand directly underneath your left shoulder, tuck your left toes, lift your left knee off the mat, and then reach your right arm towards the sky. Keep a generous bend in your right knee. Pull that right hip crease back towards your left heel. Keep your left hip lifted. See if you can find this twist from behind your navel. And as you spin the inseam of your left pant leg up towards the sky, press out through your left heel more. Exhale your right hand to the mat, step back, downward facing dog. You can stay exactly as you are, or if you'd like to take your vinyasa, inhale, ripple up and over the hurdle in your middle of your mat. You're in plank. Exhale through chaturanga. Inhale into your back bend. And exhale, lift your hips back and up. Downward facing dog. Whew, beautiful. Inhale your left leg up towards the sky. Exhale your left foot to your left thumb. Gently take your right knee down onto the mat. And then root through your feet to inhale, rise all the way up. Hug your inner thighs together. This time your right hip wraps forward. You'll find that slight tuck of your tail, that containment through your core by knitting your lower ribs to your upper hip points and then keeping your hips the exact same. You can stay as is, or you might sink into this a little bit more and whew, it opens up the front of your right hip a lot. Spin your triceps forward. So imagine as though you're holding a giant beach ball in between your hands. There's a broadness across your collarbones and such a lightness in your heart. Take one more inhale. Exhale your hands to frame your front toes. You're going to tuck your right toes underneath you, send your sits bones to your right heel and press out through your left heel, peeling your left toes towards your face and straightening your left leg. This is Ardha Hanumanasana, or half split. Drawing your heart through the gates of your arms. We've done this a few times already. You'll send your heart towards your left toes and then pull your left kneecap towards you, engaging your left quadricep. You'll find more space in your hamstring here, a little bit more opening. Inhale, come forward, replace the entire sole of your left foot on the mat. Plant your right hand underneath your right shoulder, lift your right knee off the mat, and inhale your left arm up towards the sky. And then notice that your right hip wants to drop to make this twist easier on you. Don't let it. Keep your right hip lifted. As you pull your left hip crease towards your right heel, press up and out of your right hand and reach through your left fingertips. Exhale your left hand to the mat. Step back, downward facing dog. You might stay as you are, or inhale, ripple forward to find plank. Exhale through chaturanga. Inhale into your back bend. And exhale, lift your hips back and up. Downward facing dog. On your exhale, walk your hands back towards your feet. You're folding in the back of your mat. Grab opposite elbows. Let your head and your neck go. You might stay still. Maybe swing from side to side. You'll likely feel an opening in your hamstrings. That opening is good. If you feel any pain, however, bend your knees a lot more and give yourself space. Unclasp your arms. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold back down. Keep your heels heavy as you walk yourself forward into downward facing dog. A little bit different. You're going to inhale your left leg up towards the sky. This is so I can see you on the first side. Exhale your left foot in between your thumbs. You're going to ground your right heel. So you're setting up for warrior two. Your left heel bisects your right arch. And the outside of your right foot is either parallel or slightly turned in. Hug your left hip underneath you. Press into all four corners of both your feet and rise up. Warrior two. Virabhadrasana 2. Look down. Make sure you can see your left big toe. If you can't, hug your left hip underneath you a little bit more and ever so slightly by externally rotating your hip. You're going to send your knee to the outside of your left foot. Reach through both of your fingertips. And then you're probably really aware of your left side body. Can you be just as aware of your right? So you'll press into the outside of your right foot. Take your right thigh bone higher and reach through your right fingertips more. So your shoulders are stacked directly on top of your hips. Inhale, straighten your left leg, look up, reach up. Exhale, sink back down. Inhale, straighten the leg, reach up. Exhale to sink. Last time, inhale, straighten and reach. Exhale to sink. Flip your left palm. Reverse your warrior. Stay light on your right fingertips. Lower body stays the exact same. Move through warrior two. Bend at your left elbow. Your right arm either goes up towards the sky or alongside your ear. This is Parsva Konasana, or extended side angle pose. Now there's a beautiful long line of energy through your right side body. So breathe through your right side. But also be aware of your left side. Press up and out of your left elbow. Spin the left rib cage forward and then up to the sky. Inhale, come back up, warrior two. Straighten your left leg. Begin to reach towards the front of your mat. Send your hips to the wall behind you. And then stay mindful of the length you've created on your left side as you exhale your left hand to your shin, maybe a block or the floor. Right arm to the sky. This is triangle pose, or Trikonasana. You have the same foundation as warrior two. Left hip still hugs underneath you. You're still pressing to the outside of your right foot. But it's a little bit of a hidden twist. So send your hips to the wall that you're facing and ever so slightly lean back in your upper body. Inhale, come back up. Rebend into your left knee, warrior two. Exhale, windmill your hands to frame your front foot. Step back, downward facing dog. Stay as you are, or inhale, ripple forward to plank. Exhale through chaturanga. Inhale into your back bend. And exhale, lift your hips back and up. Downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg up towards the sky. And then exhale, take your right foot in between your thumbs, ground your left heel, press into the outside of your left foot, hug your right hip underneath you. And then inhale to rise up, windmill up, warrior two. And just like before, making sure you can see your right big toe. You're gonna hug your right hip underneath you and ever so slightly send your right knee to the outside of your right foot. And just as aware as you are of your right side body, be aware of your left side. Tuck that pelvis underneath you. Find containment through your core by sending your lower back ribs back to the wall behind you. Press into the outside of your left foot. Take your left thigh bone higher and reach through your left fingertips. Inhale, straighten your right leg, look up. Exhale, sink back into warrior two. Inhale, straighten and reach. And exhale to sink. Last time, inhale, straighten, reach up. Exhale, sink into warrior two. Flip your right palm, reverse your warrior. Stay light, light, light on your left fingertips. Shine your heart to the sky. Then inhale through warrior two. Bend into your right elbow comes to your right knee. Your left arm either extends up towards the sky or goes alongside your ear, fingertips pointing to the front of your mat or the front of the room. And then again, you can enjoy that beautiful stretch through your left side body as you press up and out of your right side and spin the right rib cage forward and then up towards the sky. Breathe into where you feel sensation. You can do this. You're here for 3, for 2, and 1. Inhale, press back up, warrior 2. Straighten your right leg. Begin to reach towards the front of your mat. Stay so mindful of the length you created. As you exhale, your right hand to your shin, maybe your block or the floor, and extend your left arm to the sky for triangle pose. So ever so slightly, again, you're going to send your hips to the wall that you're facing. You'll hug your lower belly in. Find this twist from behind your navel as you spin your right rib cage forward and up towards the sky. Roll the left shoulder and stack on top of the right. And then ever so slightly, lean back. So if I were to slide you between 2 panes of glass, you would fit right in. Press into all 4 corners of your feet to rise all the way up. Rebend your right knee, warrior 2. Exhale, windmill your hands to frame your front foot. And then step back, downward facing dog. Staying exactly as you are or inhaling forward to plank. Exhaling for chaturanga. Inhaling into your back bend. And exhaling, lift your hips back and up. Downward facing dog. Breathe. Big inhale through your nose. And exhale your mouth to the side. Bend your knees, look forward. You're going to come all the way through to lie on your back. Plant the soles of your feet on the mat with your ankles directly underneath your knees and your feet hip-width distance and parallel. So that means that your feet are roughly the size of 2 fists in between your arches apart, and the outsides of your feet are parallel to the sides of your mat or slightly turned in. So it's going to feel a little bit pigeon-toed maybe. That's okay. And then with your knees directly above your ankles, you're going to bend your elbows, press into the backs of your arms, press into your feet, and lift your hips high for bridge pose. If you have a block, it can feel nice to place the block in between your thighs and squeeze the block to make sure that your knees are tracking forward. Wherever you are, you hug your heels towards you. And as you squeeze your glutes, you're going to lift your hips and your heart a little bit higher. But again, if you squeeze your glutes, you might notice your knees fall off towards the side. Keep sending them right through the middle of your ankles. Exhale, slowly lower down 1 vertebrae at a time. Take the soles of your feet mat width distance apart. Allow your knees to knock in towards one another and your hands to rest either on your belly or off to your side. And for a moment, just come back to your breath, spending a moment in this constructive rest pose. One more back bend. So reset your feet exactly as you did before. Re-bend at your elbows. Press into the soles of your feet, press into the backs of your arms, lift your hips nice and high. Make sure your knees are tracking forward and you're hugging your ankles, your outer ankles in. You can stay exactly as you are. You might interlace your hands behind your back, roll your shoulders underneath you, and press into the outsides of your arms. Press into your pinky fingers to use the leverage of the mat to lift your hips a little bit higher. Keep your gaze on the sky in the back of your head, glued to the mat here. Gently unclasp your arms and slowly lower 1 vertebrae at a time. Take the soles of your feet mat width distance apart. Allow your knees to knock in towards one another. Option to stay as you are. You might do some windshield wipers. Your knees will fall from side to side to side. And then reset your feet. This time you're going to press the sole of your left foot into the mat. Kick your right heel towards the sky. Keeping your right ankle flexed, crossed over top of your upper left thigh. So just above your knee. Now you can stay exactly as you are if you feel something in the outer portion of your right hip. Or you might reach through the window you've made to hold on to the back of your hamstring or the front of your left shin. And if you go for the route of holding onto your left leg, soften on your exhale. Let your tail soften and let your shoulders soften. Your right ankle remains flexed. You're sending your right knee to the front of your mat by rotating at the hip. If you feel any pain in your knee, you can let go of your left leg, come out of it. You don't want to stay in any places that are really uncomfortable or causing you any pain. It's just not worth it. Softly let go of your left leg. You'll cross your right thigh all the way over top of your left. Create a capital T or cactus shape, so you're reaching through your fingers. Pick up your hips, send your hips to the right side of your mat, and then allow your knees to fall towards the left. Make sure your right shoulder stays glued to the earth. And then if it feels nice on your neck, you can look over your right shoulder. And to lightly encourage a little bit more of a twist without pushing or pulling, you can just gently place your left hand above your right knee on your right thigh. And again, you're not pressing or pulling or forcing. It's just that gentle pressure of the placement of your hand that encourages a little bit deeper of a twist. Hug your navel to spine. Inhale, come back to center. Uncross your legs. Bring your hips to center. Press the sole of your right foot to the mat. Kick your left heel to the sky, keeping your left ankle flexed, crossed over top of your right thigh. Option to stay exactly as you are, or you might grab a hold of the right leg, the back of the hamstring, or the front of your shin. And then again, softening on your exhale, allowing your tail and your shoulders to soften towards the mat. Your gaze may begin to soften. This is a great opportunity to come back to the intention that you set for yourself at the beginning of your practice. Notice how your body is feeling. Let go of your right leg. Cross your left thigh all the way over top of your right. Create that capital T or cactus shape. Pick up your hips. Your hips will fall to the, well, not fall. Your hips will move to the left side of your mat, and your knees will fall towards the right. Make sure your left shoulder glues down. If you're like me, your knees can float. That's totally okay. If you have a block or a pillow or a cushion, you can always hug them underneath there if you do not like that sensation. And again, you might place your right hand to your upper left thigh just to very, very, very gently encourage a deeper twist. If you haven't already, here's a great opportunity to reintroduce your long, deep belly breathing. Long inhales. And exhales that are just as long, if not longer, than your inhale breaths. Hug your navel to spine on your inhale. Come back to center. Uncross your legs. Bring your hips to center. And then give yourself a squeeze. Hug your knees in towards your chest. You might stay still. You can rock from side to side to side. You might become a teeny tiny little ball by taking your nose towards your knees. If you love Happy Baby, take Happy Baby here by separating your knees, reaching through the insides of your legs to hold onto the outsides of your ankles or your feet. And then when you are ready, instead of moving straight into Shavasana, we're just going to take one more pose. Take the soles of your feet together and your knees wide apart. Now they can fall wide apart. Again, if you have blocks, it's quite nice to prop them underneath you. You do not have to. This is Supta Baddha Konasana, or reclined cobbler's pose. From here, I invite you to take one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. Close your eyes if you have not already. Take a big inhale through your nose. Exhale out your mouth with a sigh. Inhale into your belly, your side rib cage, and your heart. Exhale, heart, side rib cage, belly. Inhale, belly, side rib cage, heart. Exhale, heart, side rib cage, and belly. A few more times. Inhale into your belly, to your side rib cage, and into your heart. Exhale, heart, side rib cage, and belly. Inhale into your belly, side rib cage, and heart. Exhale, heart, side rib cage, belly. Inhale, belly, side rib cage, heart. Exhale, heart, side rib cage, belly. Take an inhale, get really full of breath. Exhale out your mouth, let it go. Let your arms go off towards your sides. If you'd like to take your Shavasana in this shape, you are more than welcome to. If you prefer a more traditional Shavasana, take your legs out long. Allow yourself to find a place that you can soften and find a little bit of rest for the next few moments. I will pull you out of Shavasana when it is time. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. If you you have the time, I invite you to stay in this shape for as long as possible. If you're ready to move on, slowly begin to bring your awareness back into the room, back onto your mat, and back into your body. Allow this awareness to deepen your breath, and for your deepened breath to inspire small movements in your fingers and in your toes. You might take your head from side to side, or give yourself that final big stretch by pointing your toes as you reach up overhead. And then one at a time, bend into your knees, place the soles of your feet onto the mat, and roll over onto your right side. Once you fall to your right side, just take a moment to check in and notice how you are feeling. And then keeping your head really heavy and your eyes soft, you might even keep your eyes closed as you come up to a comfortable seated position. In your seated position, take your hands to prayer at heart center and close your eyes if you have not already. Just for a final moment, come back to the intention that you set for yourself at the beginning of practice. You might choose to carry this intention through the rest of your day and the rest of your week. We end with a word that means the divine light in me bows to the divine light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you appreciate it. This is my first video, so be gentle. Let me know if you have any requests, any things you would like to see. I would love to accommodate you, and I love yoga. I love the practice of yoga. So having the opportunity to share it with everyone watching feels so incredible. Can't wait to hear your feedback, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Thank you so much. Namaste.